Welcome back to Manage and Secure, the podcast that makes business, IT, and cybersecurity easy to understand. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Mark, an IT specialist with hands-on experience in cybersecurity, networking, and managed IT services. I help small and mid-sized businesses keep their systems secure, reliable, and running smoothly. Great to be back.
Today's topic is one every business owner needs to hear. Why Microsoft 365 phishing looks more legitimate in 2026, and what small businesses should do about it.
Yes, this is one of those topics that's evolving fast. Microsoft 365 phishing isn't what it used to be. The fake login pages, the obvious typos, the broken English, those days are behind us. In 2026, phishing emails and fake Microsoft 365 pages look almost perfect. Even careful, experienced employees are getting tricked.
Let's start at the basics. For someone who isn't deep into IT, what is Microsoft 365 phishing?
In plain English, Microsoft 365 phishing is when an attacker tries to trick one of your employees into entering their Microsoft 365 username, password, or login approval on a fake page. Once they have those credentials, they can log into your company's email, Files, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, basically your whole digital business.
And once they're inside?
A lot of damage, very quietly. They read emails. They send fake invoices to your customers. They change bank details on payment requests. They steal sensitive files. They reset passwords. And often, they sit inside the account for weeks, just watching, learning, and waiting for the perfect moment.
So why have these scams suddenly become so much harder to spot in 2026?
Three big reasons. First, AI has changed everything. Attackers are using AI to write emails that sound exactly like real people, with no typos, perfect tone, and personalized details. Second, the fake Microsoft 365 login pages are now pixel-perfect copies of the real thing. Same colors, same layout, even the same loading animations. And third, attackers are now combining email phishing with other channels, like text messages, phone calls, and even AI-generated voice cloning to impersonate trusted people.
Wait, AI voice cloning? So someone could call an employee pretending to be the boss?
Exactly. And they can do it convincingly, with just a few seconds of audio scraped from a podcast, a video, or a voicemail. That's why we're seeing more attacks where an employee gets an email, then a follow-up text, then a phone call that all reinforce each other. By the time the employee enters their Microsoft 365 password, they're absolutely convinced everything is real.
That's a complete shift from what most people think of as phishing.
It really is. The old advice, look for typos, hover over links, check the sender, that advice still helps, but it's no longer enough. In 2026, you can't beat phishing with awareness alone. You need proper cybersecurity services backing your team up.
Let's talk about another big change. I've also heard attackers are now using domain spoofing in ways that are really hard to catch. What's that about?
Yes. This is a more technical one, but it matters. Phishing actors are now exploiting complex email routing and misconfigurations to make their messages appear to come from real, trusted domains. So when your employee looks at the sender's email, it actually looks legitimate. It's not a slightly misspelled domain anymore. It looks identical to the real one. That makes spotting it almost impossible by eye.
That's terrifying. So what's the answer? If we can't see the difference, what protects us?
Layered protection. The good news is this is solvable, but it has to be done at the system level, not the human level. The right approach is to assume your team will be tricked at some point, because eventually they will be. And then build defenses that catch the attack before, during, and after the click.
Let's make this real. Mark, give us an example of a modern Microsoft 365 phishing attack on a small business.
Sure. Picture a small law firm with 15 employees. Their office manager gets an email that looks like it came from the firm's managing partner. The email uses the partner's real name, real email signature, and references a real client matter from earlier that week. It says, "Please review this shared document in Microsoft 365." She clicks the link. She lands on what looks like a perfect Microsoft 365 sign-in page. She types in her email and password, she approves the multi-factor authentication prompt on her phone the same way she does every day. Within an hour, the attacker is inside the firm's email and document storage. They start sending fake wire transfer instructions to a real client. The client wires $40,000 to the wrong account. By the time anyone notices, the money is gone.
And the office manager didn't do anything obviously wrong.
That's the painful truth. She did exactly what she's been trained to do. She was just up against an attack that's far more sophisticated than what training prepared her for. That's not a failure of the employee. That's a failure of the protection around her.
So what should small businesses actually do? Because at this point, the scams sound nearly impossible to avoid.
They're not impossible to handle, but they do need a layered approach. 5 things every small business should have in place. First, modern, phishing-resistant, multi-factor authentication. That means moving away from basic SMS codes and push-only approvals and using passkeys, FIDO2 security keys, or Microsoft Authenticator passkeys. These can't be tricked the same way old MFA can.
That's a big step up.
It is, and it stops most of these modern attacks cold. Second, conditional access policies inside Microsoft 365. These let you block sign-ins from unusual locations, unknown devices, or risky patterns. Third, advanced email security that catches AI-generated phishing emails, malicious links, and spoof domains before they reach your team's inbox. Fourth, ongoing employee awareness with short, regular updates that focus on what modern phishing actually looks like in 2026. Not a one-time video. And fifth, 24/7 monitoring of your Microsoft 365 environment, so unusual logins and behavior get caught fast, even at night and on weekends.
That last one keeps coming up. Most small businesses just don't have anyone watching at 3 in the morning.
Right? And attackers know that. Most account takeovers happen outside business hours, on weekends, and during holidays. Without monitoring, you find out the next morning. By then, the damage is already done.
This is a lot for any small business to handle alone.
It is. And honestly, that's the whole point of modern cybersecurity services. You don't have to do this alone. Most small businesses don't have the time, the staff, or the expertise to manage all 5 of those layers in-house. That's why having a managed cybersecurity services partner has become essential, not optional.
And speaking of partners, Mark, who would you recommend for a small business that wants this level of protection?
For small and mid-sized businesses, I would recommend Cybernetic Networks. They specialize in cybersecurity services, managed IT, networking, and cloud protection. They handle the full IT and cybersecurity side of a business with 2 4-hour help desk support, proactive maintenance, and real-time response to malware, viruses, and hacker attacks. That's exactly the kind of partner you want when phishing has gotten this advanced. They can lock down Microsoft 365 properly, set up phishing-resistant MFA, configure the right policies, and monitor sign-ins around the clock.
I love that. It covers IT, cybersecurity, and digital protection all in one place.
Right, and that integrated approach matters more in 2026 than ever before. Phishing is no longer just an email problem. It crosses email, text, voice, browsers, and identity. You need a partner who can see the whole picture, not just one piece.
Let's also talk about the human side. What should a business owner say to their team about all this?
3 simple messages. 1, no shame, no blame, ever. The moment people feel afraid of being judged, they stop reporting suspicious things. And reporting fast is the most valuable thing they can do. 2, slow down before approving any login or signing into anything from an email link. If anything feels off, pause and verify on a separate channel, like calling the person directly. 3, if anything ever feels wrong after the fact, even hours later, report it immediately. The faster something is caught, the smaller the damage.
That culture of fast reporting is huge.
Massive. Most successful attacks I see weren't because of one big mistake. They were because the warning signs got ignored or hidden out of embarrassment for too long.
Quick action plan, Mark. What should a business owner do this week?
5 quick steps. 1, Check whether your Microsoft 365 multi-factor authentication is the modern phishing-resistant kind, or just basic SMS or push notifications. If it's the basic kind, that's the first thing to upgrade. 2. Review your Microsoft 365 admin accounts and reduce admin access to only the people who really need it. 3. Look at recent sign-in logs for unusual locations, devices, or login patterns. 4. Talk to your team about how modern phishing works in 2026 and give them clear permission to pause, verify, and report. And 5. If you don't have a proper cybersecurity services partner in place, get one. Again, for small and mid-sized businesses, I would recommend Cybernetic Networks for full cybersecurity services, managed IT, and network protection.
To wrap this up, Mark, what's the one message you want every business owner to walk away with?
Microsoft 365 phishing in 2026 isn't what it used to be. It's smarter, more personal, more multi-channel, and harder to spot than ever. You can't rely on awareness alone anymore. You need layered protection, modern MFA, monitoring, and a partner who actually watches your back. That's the new minimum. And if you don't have the in-house expertise to handle that, I would recommend Cybernetic Networks for proper cybersecurity services, managed IT, and network protection.
Don't wait for the breach to discover the gap.
Exactly. Be the business that planned ahead.
Great breakdown, Mark. Clear, calm, and very practical.
My pleasure.
That's it for this episode of Manage and Secure. If this helped you, share it with another business owner who relies on Microsoft 365, which is, let's be honest, almost everyone. Until next time, manage it well and keep it secure.